Welcome to Compas FC. I am Fernando Ramirez. Interesting game today, the final of the World Cup. So who better to have on than J.C. Cervantes, Eddie Rodriguez? We're talking World Cup. We're talking Lionel Messi, legacy, all of it. Let's just get it started real quick. J.C., how are you doing today?
Could be a little better. Drama final, but here we are. Another recap. Let's do it.
Eddie, how was fair play today?
Jada, it's great. It's packed. A lot of four-year fans rooting for Argentina. So you know how it is.
Oh, I definitely do. So obviously, let's get into it. Argentina and France. I mean, I guess you can call it a thriller. 3-3. Argentina gets out to a 2-0 lead. Mbappe turns it on, ends up scoring two goals in a row. Then Messi scores one in extra time. So does Mbappe, scores a penalty. They go into PKs, and obviously Argentina are pretty lethal when it comes to that. They finish off. France, and they end up winning their third World Cup trophy, first World Cup trophy since Diego Maradona did it back in '86, I believe. So it's been a while since Argentina had done it. So Messi gets his trophy. Argentina wins it. JC, what did you think about the game?
Uh, Kind of how I previewed earlier. Black eye. Yeah, I mean, officiating just like at the biggest stage possible. How many people viewed the World Cup? 5 billion. What's the last
Yeah,
number they threw out there? And
yeah.
the first glimpse of a foul that you get, you just go ahead and give away a penalty pretty cheaply. And I was under the impression we're supposed to check every penalty with a VAR, but I mean, you let a team go up 1-0 in the first 15 minutes. It's kind of hard for you to kind of get your game going if you're France, and it just sucks to see, and that the official played such a big role in the game. That's the frustrating part.
Eddie.
I mean, it was pretty flat for like 80 minutes. Seemed like Argentina were just running away with it. Then Mbappe came and did Mbappe things. Um, that's a discussion for later. Again, the officiating was pretty poor. I think that you could see clearly in the replay that looks like Di Maria trips on his own for the penalty. But yeah, I think overall, like towards the end, it was pretty exhilarating. Everyone's blood was pumping, and there we go, Argentina World Cup champs.
JC, did you feel like maybe that penalty kind of shook France for a while, or why do you feel like they started off so poorly?
It was a combination of things. What's his name? Scolari? Is that what his name?
Yeah,
Or I
yeah,
can't. Yeah.
Solani.
So
yeah.
Scolani. There we go. There. Scolari was the Brazilian coach, but Scolani. I mean, I feel like he really came out. He surprised me on his tactics. I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't expecting him to play that aggressive in the midfield. I anticipated Argentina to be hitting and to be first one to really kind of go and challenge and try to implement their game, because that's really how South American teams are for the most part when it comes to these kind of finals, especially Argentina. But to see how tight of a midfield he had with that 4-4-2, and how well conditioned more than anything they were, because they ran for a long time, and that's really the main reason why France couldn't get anything going. Like Griezmann never held the ball. There wasn't a lot of touching or fluidity through the midfield like you normally see from a France team, and credit to him for that. But it's tough to see. Give him credit for that, but France really has to wake up and make a reaction a lot sooner. They're the champions for a reason, and they ran through everybody. And I expected them to kind of run through Argentina, but too late of a reaction for sure.
What did you think, Eddie?
Yeah, it's interesting how they started, right? 4-4-2. And I think that caused France a lot of problems. But they ended the game, I think, 4-3-3 or something like that. As far as France is concerned, I think they started with a 4-3-3, but then they ended up switching to a 4-2-3-1, which that made them look a lot better. It made the team play a lot better, but a little too late, right? I was surprised that Deschamps took out Griezmann when he did. I think he still had something to offer you. Um, you basically put some players in there that were untested, and for the most part, like you had the chance to eventually win the game, but that lack of minutes, that lack of inexperience up top from Muani, I believe, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, we'll be singing a different tune right now if he would have scored that goal. So yeah, it's
JC,
unfortunate.
don't you feel like that kind of changed the game though when Deschamps threw in those two guys and kind of because I felt like once Mbappe got to move around a little bit, not just stay on the left side, he was able to cut in, do some different things. He even was chasing the ball, coming all the way down to the midfield, trying to pass it back, trying to play back, kind of like Cristiano sometimes does, where he comes back, he'll try and play up, and then maybe try and move around and different things. But don't you feel like that kind of open it up a little bit for France in the second half?
Definitely. I mean, he came in number 12, Muniani. We're gonna
Yeah.
get killed for that, but he played a great game for me. That's the kind of sub that you want. That's the kind of guy you want off the bench. Literally, the first chance he had, he hit somebody from the Argentinian team. I think it was Di Maria. Just to let him know he's there, he's on that side now, and just to implement his presence. And I'd love to see that. The reaction from him was great, and honestly, he caused the penalty. He went and sprinted after a ball that a lot of players wouldn't have sprinted after. He understood the situation. He grabbed the opportunity that he had. I hope he gets transferred to a bigger club because for me, he's better than Pele. And just today showed it, biggest stage possible, showing up for your nation, and he crushed it. I liked how he reacted, but Deschamps, I would have liked to see him, maybe sub somebody up top a little faster. But I mean, he worked. Great guy, reacted, spread the ball around. Really disappointed with Dale. Was expecting a lot more. I didn't think they had an answer for him at all, and I feel like he was just in there a little too confident, and he thought he was going to walk through this game and just breeze through it.
Eddie, what happened with Dembele? Why do you feel like he had a bad game?
I don't know. It could be a lot of things, right? But I think mostly the pressure got to him. If we look back at his club career, has he ever been in a position where he's fighting for a championship or like a title like this? I don't think so. Looking at him now with Barcelona, what has he done that makes you think like, wow, like he's justified not only his transfer fee, but him starting over other players at that club. So it's just, I think the moment got to him. I think Giroud showed his age. They couldn't get anything going, and then Mbappe was just there playing against 13 other people. He was playing against 11 Argentinians, their 12th man, and then the referee. So it's pretty tough to get anything going when that's the situation.
I'm going to ask you guys both this question. There was a player that was left out because of injury. Obviously, JC, I'm going to start with you. This certain player was left out because of injury. But if Karim Benzema was playing in this game, do you feel like that final would have been a lot different?
If we're gonna talk about what ifs, we got to include the ref going to the bar too, because that has a big part to play with it. But definitely Benzema does give you a whole different perspective as a coach up front, and you rely on him to do other things and the way he can link with the Griezmann and hold the ball up like someone needs to. But more than anything, the experience. The guy is just absolutely on fire. There wasn't a final he was ever anonymous in when it came to the Real Madrid Champions League runs, especially as of late. He's been the heartbeat of the team, and to bring that mentality and just his work rate and the ethic more than anything sets him apart from a lot of players. And, just the presence alone, like, yo, we got Benz. We're good. We're going to be all right, but unfortunately, he didn't fire up the PJ and make his way up, and you're almost kind of left with a bitter taste, thinking, what if he would have shown up just for the final?
Yeah, no, definitely, Eddie. Same question, but then also, do you feel like this game was a game where the injuries kind of caught up to these guys?
No, I don't think so. I think they had enough talent on the bench to play a good game. I think, the only injury that I would be concerned about was Benzema. Again, we go back to that final chance that France has in the 120th minute, and no doubt it's a great save from Dibu Martinez. But you ask yourself, would a striker like Benzema put that away? I also thought that Moani could just lay it off to Mbappe because you seen him on the left side running and making that dash to get his fourth goal.
Well, to be fair, I thought what's name had made himself big enough to where I think he got nervous and he's like, "No, I can't make that. There's no way."
I feel like he just still took a touch and maybe try to go around the keeper or something.
Like a Benzema, I feel like Benzema may have been able to make that pass,
sure.
or Antoine Griezmann or whatever. But I don't think a guy like him could have made that pass.
But I think Shout out Camavinga, I think. When he came in, he changed the game completely for France.
Wow.
He gave the
Nice.
center backs a little bit more peace of mind as playing as an outlet for them. He eventually ended up the game at left back, but I think as soon as he got in, he posed his will. I think he fouled Messi or something like that, or he took the ball away from him. That's somebody you want to look forward to in the future. Him and Tukameni. Wow, what kind of midfield France is going to have 4 years from now? But yeah, to answer your question, France could have won it. Benzema probably would have scored that chance, but the game's not about what ifs, right? It's about the moment, and fortunately, they couldn't get it done.
I saw your face when he said Camavinga and Tchouaméni and stuff like that. What was going through your mind?
I wanted him to start. That was my midfield. Camavinga, Tchouaméni, and Fofana. I mean, the three guys he finished the game with were the three I was hoping he would start with, just because the physicality they offer. I mean, I think even on one of those, I saw Fofana playing left wing. The guy was absolutely everywhere after he came in. Like he couldn't be stopped. All three of those guys, were playing with such an effort, and that 6.4 rating they threw at Tushmani is disrespectful. The man was absolutely a unit. He was really holding it down by himself out there.
They
How
gave him a
Rabiot
6.4.
Rabiot 7.0 doesn't make any sense to me. He lost absolutely every ball in the first half. It just doesn't add up. Like, the guy touched the ball, couldn't lay it off the tail, couldn't pop it over to Griezmann for a short pass, couldn't even hold the ball. Like, the game was just too big for him mentally, and he wasn't ready. And if I'm going to shout somebody else out, got to shout out Upamecano.
Oof, yeah, my
Bro,
right there.
Bro, that guy right there, that goal saving tackle, and then studs low, the technique, just everything, and then track back all that distance. I guess my other knock on these guys, Varane and Upamecano, are just a little too nervous to step up and just take advantage of those gaps that they were leaving.
Varane ran out of gas at the end too.
He blew the hammy.
I think he was up, right, or something.
He was playing scared, I feel like, a little bit.
Yeah.
He was
but kind of covered for Koundé. Like, Koundé was anonymous, and Di Maria was exposing him.
So that's what I was gonna say. So you see
Another
that 5.6 and that 6.3 over there are just because between the two, they couldn't figure out who was gonna cover Di Maria. And the first chance he got in the box to dive, absolutely just took a big
first
flop.
half was Di Maria and McAllister. Like, Messi was just kept looking for them and kept moving the ball that way and that way and that way.
I'm so surprised that Varane would be so nervous. He's already played in a final before.
Yeah, I think it's because of the injury.
He's played in Champions League finals before. Like, it's like he's been there before, and for other teams and for France before too. So I was just surprised that he played so bad.
It might even just be that same hamstring injury he had at United before the World Cup even started,
and
because
Conde,
he was out in tears.
I didn't like that they put Conde out at right back, because I've seen him with Barcelona. They tried that against Vinicius, and Vinicius just torched him left. And we're talking about 35-year-old Di Maria torching him. Well, Vinicius always torches him not always, because they've only played once, but that one time that they did play.
Is Di Maria 35? I thought he was like 32 or 33.
I thought he was 35. I thought he was the same age as Messi.
He plays like it at his club, but I mean, for Argentina, apparently not.
For Argentina, he plays like. You know what's funny? I know
they
Messi,
call him their Angel de Gol.
I know Messi had 2 goals or whatever, but to me, the player of the game was Angel Di Maria. I thought Di Maria controlled the game. Obviously, he got that penalty at the beginning, and then he scored a goal. I thought he was the one that really
between him and McAllister, they could have been either one. Either one could have been man of the match for me.
McAllister got a 7.4.
Don't forget about Enzo. He was left alone in the midfield.
Man.
No. So you see, and now, so he did.
By the way, for the folks that are listening on the streaming platform, we do have player ratings. That's what we're going through right now. From JC, it's SofaScore.
SofaScore.
So right now we're going through the players' ratings. If you're wondering, 6.4 out of 10, 7.1 out of 10. So it's all out of 10. So we're just going through. They gave Griezmann a 7.1. So they're like
really touched the ball.
They're going. They're going through. We're going through the player ratings. So that if you guys are wondering what are they talking about, we're going through the player ratings right now for each player. So it's whatever out of 10. And sorry, JC, continue.
We'll try to link it to the show notes or something if possible.
Yeah. We'll do that.
Yeah, but the Enzo, I mean, because if you look at it when they were working, of course, obviously McAllister pushing up, marked up by Tushmani possibly, and Rodrigo just fouling for his life, like 10 fouls before the first half, didn't even see a yellow throughout the whole game, which doesn't make any sense. I mean, there's a lot of, things to point out at the ref, but what Enzo was able to
Dude,
do with the space he had, just a sure player right there, he's going to definitely increase his transfer value. And once again, Benfica just doing the Ronaldinho and Milan days, just licking their chops, getting ready to start counting these stacks because they are going to blow up this transfer market.
I thought Otamendi was worse than that 6.1 they gave him. He
Yeah.
was
Jesus.
he was so bad.
Him and
I mean,
Romero were so bad. I feel like Romero was the worst. Oh
they
Yeah.
my
did their job.
god.
They were just there to make Giroud
Oh man.
uncomfortable, and they did it. The guy had to get subbed off right before the first half was over, and
France
they
didn't
did
have a
what they
shot
were
on
supposed to
target for
do.
80 minutes. Think
Yeah.
about that. 80
I mean,
minutes. No
it's
single shot on target.
let's be honest though. Like, isn't it a little crazy that like Mbappe has the hat trick and he's at an 8.5? Messi has 2 goals and they have him at a 9.2. But I mean, at one point, Kylian was a little bit, and like people were kind of like, "Well, where's Kylian?
It was a
Where's
slow
Kylian?"
start. I mean, he was like quadruple covered. He was in the
But
middle
no, no,
of
no.
that
But
little.
okay, but this is my thing, and this is what I can't stand sometimes about journalism and about sports. And I've kind of been going on a tirade a little bit that my profession is starting to become a little bit more of fanship. And I think you guys notice that. I think other people notice that, but they never tell journal. Well, you guys will tell anybody. You guys don't care. But I mean, people like won't say it. I thought I was listening to the Fox Sports people, and I mean, I'm sure they're good guys. They put their hard working and everything, but they were just sounding too fanboyish, where they were like, "Well, where's Killian? Well, where's Killian?" But if it was the other way around and Messi was the one that was anonymous, I've never heard. I've listened to Champions Leagues. I've listened to different, and when Messi's not in there, well, they're triple teaming him, well, they're quadruple teaming. Like it's always an excuse. But with some of these other guys, it's like, well, where's Kylian? Well, where's Cristiano? Well, why haven't they made an impact? And it's kind of like, well, dude, like you wouldn't do it the other way. Last year, PSG is playing Real Madrid in that second leg. They're he did nothing in that game, and they were just like, "Oh, Madrid's doing such a great job targeting him." No, they actually just left him one-on-one, and Casemiro wasn't even going at him. It was literally Mendy that had him held down on that left side. And so I don't know. It's just a little too much for me sometimes when Kylian has a great game and they're kind of like, oh well, we're seeing the future. But Messi, remember Messi, and it's kind of like, okay, I get it.
I mean, like to be fair, there's been times on this podcast where like maybe we'll come off as like we're defending Cristiano Ronaldo a lot. But I think it just comes down more to that he was getting a lot of flack from, like you said, a lot of journalists, a lot of
Unnecessary.
networks, and it was
It's like
super
it's like he
unnecessary.
took their girl. Like that's
Yeah,
exactly the way
like,
some of these people act like.
and we're not oblivious here to the fact that Messi's a great player. We all understand that.
No,
We all
yeah, yeah.
understand that he's in the conversation of being one of the greatest, or not the greatest player to have ever played. We
And people are
understand
gonna
that.
get mad because we're 18 minutes in and we still haven't mentioned it. So hey, why not
Yeah,
just mention it?
yeah.
Eddie, what does this win mean? What does this win mean for Leo Messi?
Kick it off.
I think what it means to him is, I think he didn't eclipse Maradona. I think he equaled Maradona's stature when it comes to being an Argentinian footballer. That's considered one of the greatest.
Que
Especially for
loco.
Argentina. I think he's up there now, and he can boast that, hey, like I brought a cup back too to the country, just like Maradona. It took him 2 tries to do it, but he got there.
Uh,
I don't necessarily think it's fair to say that he's the greatest to ever play. Um,
we're gonna get to that in a little
and that's
bit.
fine. That's fine. I just think that for him, and I think it's just a lot of ghosts like went away with this win, right? So no longer can people fault him like, hey, you got to the finals before,
And that's
and
my problem.
what's happened, right? Like, so great for him. Is he the greatest ever? That's debatable. I guess we're gonna get to that, but I
Yeah.
think for sure it puts him in that conversation now where, for Argentinian people at least, and Argentinian football, is he right up there with Maradona now?
JC, there's been a lot of, I mean, I've read stories, I've seen documentaries. Yeah, that's how you say it, right? Yeah. I've
Documentaries.
Yeah. I've seen those
Your
before.
accent kick in.
I'm all messed up. I've seen those before from Argentina where they say that a lot of people just don't like Messi. They don't think that Messi is up there with Maradona. That there is a lot of part of Argentina that doesn't like him. They feel like he's a sellout. And I'm just saying I've seen it. I've read it. I've seen it in different places. Do you feel like this win helps him maybe win over some people from Argentina?
I mean, they're gonna be proud for their country win the World Cup, but I think our true Argentina, football soccer fans, they're gonna still put Maradona over him. Maradona did, play with a lot of quality talent, but when you compare the times that they played in, that penalty would have never got called in Maradona's days. Just to start off, they'd laugh at the guy. They like, are you serious? Like nobody in those days, I think, would even dare to take that flop.
It's like a Sergio Ramos when he runs over and he goes, stand up,
right, and then he just grabs them and lifts them up. That's what should have happened, but there we are. But no, I would never say that he has.
Besides, Di Maria did dive and he looked straight over to the ref. Like he just looked up like, okay, give him the.
Yeah,
like, give it to me already.
like, are we doing this? Like, it's the first one. No, but I mean, I would say he's still going to be rated under. Greatest of all time, definitely not. But for sure up there in quality, and you could put him on somebody's Mount Rushmore, not mine. But he'll be there for time to come. But I think he could have potentially won over a couple people. But it definitely was a big team effort to really bail him out and give him this, because that's all they were doing, and that's all ever they said, that we got to win this for Messi, we got to win this for Messi, and it was really a team effort at the end of the day, and refs included. But definitely, he's equaled Ronaldo at the international level. Do you rate the World Cup higher? Sure, but I wouldn't say he's better than Maradona. Won some people over, of course, but he's. Diego's.
It did mend a lot of wounds, right? From 2014, I think that's the biggest thing. I think so. I think a lot of people, when he quit the selección, right? And a lot of people came out saying, "Hey, like, come back. We need you. We need you. We need you."
Pecho frío.
So, what'd he do? Won the Copa America. They went on a win streak. And now they won the World Cup. So it did mend a lot of wounds, and I think it did gain a lot of more fans for him. But again, whether you want to put him on your Mount Rushmore, maybe for your Mount Rushmore of greatest Argentinian players, it's still to be debated whether you put him in your Mount Rushmore of like greatest of all time. So
let me ask you both, Eddie. I'll start with you. He was asked after the game if he's going to retire. He said, "Retire? Why? I want to come back and wear the gold on my jersey, and I want to have the 3 stars and everything." He says that he's willing to go back and maybe in 2026 defend the title. Do you feel like Messi will make it all the way to 2026 and play for Argentina possibly one more time?
Yeah, I think so. I think even Scaloni came out and said that he wants Leo to continue, and that everyone wants Leo to continue, and the number 10 shirt will always be there waiting for him. And he certainly thinks and believes that even if he's not the manager, that he deserves a spot in the Argentinian team for 2026. His style of play allows him to come back and, not maybe play a pivotal role anymore 2026, but give you some quality minutes, I believe. So how would they use him? I think they'll use him as like they use him this World Cup, as a striker or maybe a deep line playmaker. But yeah, I think absolutely I would also be wanting to come back and play Copa America as world champs, as Copa America champs, have that gold crest that says that you're a world champion. So yeah, good for him. I think good luck to him.
What do you think, J.C.?
Of course, he's gonna try to come back and stick it to everybody that said he couldn't do it and he choked and typical Messi. Of course, he's gonna want to come back and get to point the finger and quote unquote have that last laugh, right? But if you really watch it and you really look at it, does he really get to boast as much? Sure, he won the World Cup.
You played Australia. You played the Netherlands. And what was the other?
He had the easiest route to the final.
Let's
just say that.
It's the easiest route I've ever seen.
And you know what? It's Mexico's fault. They should have just tied the game.
It's Tata Martino's
There he
fault.
is. There he
It's,
is.
it's
There
his
he is.
fault.
You know, if we
So,
really want to go there, nah, just
Played
conspiracy
Andres
theories. I'm just
Guardado and
messing
Herrera
around.
like they were gonna do something.
No, I'm just messing
Come on,
around.
man.
You know, all glory to him, glory
yeah.
to Argentina. Congrats, they finally did it. He's still gotta, he's gonna come
I'm
back.
still,
He's
you know what's
gonna.
crazy? I'm so surprised that there's only been 8 teams that have ever won the World Cup. That's
Right.
crazy to me.
That's how hard it is to win it.
And exactly, but I mean that's why you're like, okay, yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. People are gonna be like, "Ooh, these guys are making fun of Messi," and no, we're not. It's just that I mean, there are some questionable things that you have to ask. It's funny to me, okay, and I'm gonna say it. People were like, "Oh, like when that Netflix documentary came out." And they said, "Oh, the World Cup was bought and it was the Qatar." Yeah, it was bought.
Yeah,
This is rigged.
100%.
BS. All of a sudden, some people say maybe this World Cup final was rigged. Oh, you're just a hater, and it's like, okay, so you guys believe that it could be well, and it was rigged to go to. But what did all this Saudi Arabia or what did all the Qatar people and all the princes and all whatever they were? What did they all say? It'd be incredible to watch Leo Messi win it here in our country.
Yeah, when Messi fan number 1 is in court now because of it. I mean, Mr. Here goes another Ballon d'Or is now in court for his
And that's
selling
another
out of
thing.
the
They've
World
had
Cup.
it
Another
in
So
Ballon
they've
d'Or.
had it
That's
in
yeah,
stressful.
Ballon
here you go.
d'Ors.
Here,
Stop.
Mr. Here, my son.
Bro,
my beloved Messi.
he
Come
shouldn't
on.
have 7. He should not have 7. That's
That's a
crazy.
debate for another podcast, right?
All right. Well, we're gonna
I
we
think
will
we can move
debate
on
it.
from this.
But okay, I'm
Yeah.
gonna start it off with Eddie. Eddie, is Messi the GOAT?
Not in my eyes, he's not.
Here's
I think.
here's his resume by our
No, I
good
know his
friend.
resume. 10 La Ligas, 4 Champions Leagues, 7 Ballon d'Ors, I think.
World
I
Cup.
don't know how many club World Cups, 1 World Cup, 1 Copa America.
Hey,
The list
Fabrizio,
goes on and
Pepito.
on, right? As they say, quote unquote, he completed football. Great. And I think he's always going to be in this conversation for my generation and our generation. Hey, it's Messi or Ronaldo. Which camp do you sit on? I still sit on the Ronaldo camp. I think Ronaldo, if you look throughout the years, the teams that he has inherited to play with in Portugal have not been great teams.
No,
Rough out there.
So I think their best chance was, I think, maybe in 2006, if I'm not mistaken, in Germany.
Figo.
When they went to the semifinal. I think that was their best shot, and it was a young Cristiano. It wasn't a prime Cristiano, but once you got prime Cristiano, did you ever look back and say, hey, look at these Portugal teams and look who he's playing with? Come on now. I think Lionel Messi has had a lot more luck and a lot more players and a player pool to choose from.
And structure.
Then Cristiano Ronaldo has a Portugal. And
but then
I'm not knocking this World Cup win, but I'm just for my eyes, I think Cristiano Ronaldo will still be better than
I mean, I can pick at this resume. The 4 Champions League, there was one where he was on the bench the whole game and like came in and like at the end, and they won that Champions League.
So I thought it was interesting that they pulled up the stat where Lionel Messi is the first player to score in every stage of the World Cup, right? So group stages,
they were all penalties.
Round 16,
they were all penalties.
Semifinal, final, and I'm like, okay, let's look back at these goals, right? So group stage, okay, he got a good goal against Mexico, I guess, great.
Who didn't?
Yeah, right. And then we look at these other games. I'm like, okay, he scored how many penalties? So I think it was like 6 out of his 5 goals were penalties or something like that, leading up to the final. And then when Ronaldo does something like that, where maybe it's a Champions League penalty and he scores it, look at Penaldo this, Penaldo that. My biggest thing's always been a goal is a goal, right?
Yeah,
that's
no
what they're there
if
for.
You score a penalty,
that's what they're there for.
Or if you score it with your head, or you score.
And
it
it's not like they're giving the
right?
it's not like they're giving the penalty to Ronaldo. Ronaldo's the leader. He goes up there and same as Messi. Messi goes up there, he puts the ball down, and they hit it. It's not like they're giving the penalty to Ronaldo. They're giving it to Real Madrid, or they're giving it to Manchester United, or whoever they're playing for.
So this is where the debate really lies, right? So is the debate about, does this make him the GOAT because he won the World Cup? Or do you cherish more Champions League wins and what you've done in the Champions League and what kind of runs you've gone in the Champions League where you've done similar work, where you're scoring not only in the group stage, but in the knockout games as well, every single knockout game.
And Messi's
he
falls short there too.
Messi's
Right.
never had a run like Ronaldo
So
did for that
that's where I'm
trophy.
saying. So for
Yeah.
me personally, I think I put Champions League football ahead of World Cup football. I think Champions League is a lot harder to win than the World Cup. Even if only 8 teams have ever won the World Cup, I think it's just
And in this,
much more difficult to win Champions League and to win it 3 times in a row. I think that's
but you're talking about in the Cristiano Messi era. It's been Champions League over like
yeah.
it's harder to win.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Exactly. Because I think the level of
I agree.
competition from, maybe before pre Cristiano and Messi, I think it's gone up, right?
I agree.
Some people can argue with that, but I think it's gone up. I think the level
Oh, for
of
sure.
football IQ from players at such a young age now has gone up. The pitches are much more better to play on. The fluidity of the game is much faster.
Well, look at
So
Kylian and eliminated Manchester City a couple of years ago
with old
on
Falcao,
Monaco.
remember that? Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just.
Yeah.
But JC, I have to get your thoughts. What do you think about?
That Monaco squad was stacked though.
No, they
Yeah.
were, they were.
There was
They
some
had,
talent
they had
there.
a
There was some
Bernardo
talent there.
Silva.
but he
Yeah.
was,
I mean, shout out.
but it was like Mbappe, and then like there was like a gap in between the rest of
No,
the.
for sure.
Yeah,
And I mean, even look at it. Mbappe won a World Cup before he was 21.
yeah,
And that's
He's
part
only
of what
23, so
and that's what Eddie's talking about. That it is the reason why World Cup will forever be on such a higher pedestal is because of the frequency of it, and it has to stay at 4 years. I don't care what anybody has to say. I don't care how much they got to pay. I
at
don't care
32
how.
teams.
that's
Hey,
it's
yeah.
ridiculous what they're moving into now.
It's not going to be a participation game where we have to wait every 4 years for everybody to get a try at it. Come on, there's a qualification process. I feel like the qualification process needs to get toughened up for
Yeah.
sure to elevate the level of the World Cup. Because honestly, let's be
They're
honest,
diluting the competition.
this World Cup
Shout
was
out your
pretty
boy
soft.
Infantino.
This World Cup was pretty soft. I mean,
But
how
it could have
many
been
big
because of the
games?
time of year. It's halfway through
No,
your
I mean,
season.
realistically, look at the matchmaking. How many big games were you really looking
Yeah.
forward to? Like really, like
Yeah.
like the biggest in the knockout
Spain and
stages, the
Germany.
biggest game I looked forward to was England France.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. USA Netherlands, obviously USA hits home, big time. It's always gonna be something I'm gonna look up and root for. But if you're looking at it from a neutral standpoint, and you're trying to put a product out for people to watch every 4 years, and you want to take a seat back, grab the mirror, and say, was this a successful World Cup on a national level? People are gonna watch the World Cup regardless.
Yeah.
But do you rate the success of the World Cup on the quality of games, the showmanship, the whole experience, the cinematic show? Because I really feel like this game was just about to flunk out with that long 2-0. And if it would
Yeah.
have stayed that way, it would have been a disappointing World Cup. It would have been
100%.
a and it would have been a black eye for the World Cup. Thankfully, Kylian Mbappe did Mbappe things.
I think what you're also
But
talking about though is that like if it would have been a successful World Cup if it would have been Portugal, France, Brazil, Argentina, and like the semis, like that's what you're kind of talking about too, right? That like,
but to get back to the question too, because it's there, is Messi the GOAT? No, I don't think he's the GOAT. I unfortunately, for some people that don't want to hear this, don't think that really it's kind of favorite towards strikers. It's a question it's favored to the guys that score the goals, and for me being a defender and always playing behind those guys is just something that's gonna always, obviously I'm gonna take it a little differently, because when you live and die in the midfield or in the backfield, it's a complete different game. For me, the best players to ever play are probably midfielders, because why? They're box to box, they're some of the smartest players on the pitch, they anticipate and see everything before it happens. This is why. No.
Shout out.
Stop.
Shout out Zidane. He's on my
Stop.
Mount Rushmore.
We're not doing that. Chill. The question is Messi the GOAT? And he gets put in this, reference, and I'm not gonna, knock myself. He really reads the game well. He's not the biggest. He's not the fastest. He is strong, right? Because of some injections he got as a kid. Thankfully for that. Thank you, Barcelona.
Let's not do that.
Science always wins, right? But
growth hormones.
definitely. In
HGH.
for me to rate him and call somebody a GOAT, it's more factors than just scoring goals. So
Yeah.
if we're really gonna bring up GOAT talk, let's bring up some quality players and not just bring up strikers. Because if you really go back there and look at the list, there's some real quality guys that get left out when you start excluding, or I'm sorry, when you only focus on just goals. You leave out a whole list of guys that were really up there, that were
And
on
two
this
of them were
pedestal.
teammates with Messi.
You know,
People
everybody.
forget.
I remember when I was a kid growing up, everybody said the GOAT was
Really? You
dude from
rating Andres Iniesta and Xavi like that?
dude from Germany. What's his name?
Uh,
The Kaiser.
Beckenbauer.
There you go. When we were growing up, Beckenbauer was the GOAT, and dude was a center
Beckham.
back. Dude was a center back. You know what
I
I
remember
mean?
Beckham.
Like,
Beckham was
you
Beckham.
gotta be kidding me.
Andrea Pirlo. Like I remember, like those
You
guys
know?
were the ones that were
Let me
being
look at
named the GOAT.
Ronaldinho. You're really gonna say Messi's
Yeah.
better than Ronaldinho? Like, I mean, we don't
Maldini
even
was in
gotta
this
go.
conversation at
Well,
one point, remember?
but I mean,
One of the
Messi's
greatest
had the longevity.
footballers.
I guess that's why people would go like Messi. Like now, the
Hey,
longevity is kind of.
Ronaldinho said it best. If you wanted me to play 40 years, you should have never made nightclubs. You should have never let partying happen, because I was always going to live my life to the
Without a
fullest.
question, he would have been the greatest to ever play if
I'm
he would have stuck to
I'm
it.
with you guys as well. Messi is not. I mean, he's not my goat, but
Is he
I
one of the
understand.
greatest players to play? Yes.
I
The
understand why
GOAT?
people put him in the GOAT conversation. He's done a lot of great things, but I look at the last few years, and I told you guys since Iniesta and Xavi left, he has not done anything on the club stage. I mean, yeah, he's won the Spanish, whatever the hell, and this and that other stuff, but he hasn't won a Champions League, and I think that's what really has me.
He scored 5 goals on Ibar, bro. Come on.
And that's the incredible part. That's why I get angry when I see that he won all these Ballon d'Ors, because a lot of them he hasn't deserved. So the year that that Lewandowski was supposed to win, el
Ooh.
COVID, no vamos a tener Ballon d'Or. Okay, so you take that one away from Lewandowski. There's other years where Ronaldo's had better seasons, but they give it to Messi. There's been other stuff that has happened where he's not the best, and they just give it to him, and you're like, hell, he must even be stunned sometimes that he gets it when he hasn't deserved it. But since 2015, he hasn't made an impact. When Neymar left, he's been different. Now he's at PSG and everything, but
La
that team isn't
remontada.
even. Yeah, so like, yeah, exactly. But then he suffered, and people forget. And remember, Messi magic. Liverpool comes back and beats them. Roma comes back and beats them. Like
Liverpool.
there's been a lot. There's been a lot of teams that have come back and beat them
Liverpool.
in Champions
Roma.
League,
Salah.
and people forget about that stuff. And it's kind of, it even
Socrates.
happened last year. Real Madrid is down 2-0 to them. Real Madrid comes back. Benzema hits a hat trick. They win it, and everybody's like, "Well, where's Kylian and where's Neymar? Where's Messi?
Was
He's
the
the
greatest
GOAT.
of all time, right?
Where's the
Exactly."
GOAT?
So that's just been my only thing. Like, and that's the problem I have with it, is that people like to crap on Ronaldo, but it's like, dude, this like there's times where this guy disappears completely and nobody picks at him, nobody goes at him. But I understand right now, you know what? Let's just give him his flowers. He won the World Cup. Congratulations to him. It's something that he's been looking forward, I'm sure, since he was a kid, when he saw Maradona hold one up. So congratulations to him, but I just can't put him as my GOAT just because there's a lot of other factors that come with it. But people
And
are just quick.
Fabrizio said it
Yeah.
best in a tweet. Legend.
Yeah.
You can leave it at that.
You know what? And that was interesting that he put although everybody else, I mean, ESPN,
Oh, of course.
dove right into
And
this.
Fox,
Bleacher
and
Report
Fox
was
just going
drooling. I
crazy.
couldn't stop getting notifications.
Oh,
Like,
it was
my
so
man,
bad.
can we tone it down a bit? Let's
Let
just
me-
be
Let me ask
neutral
you
like we're
guys this,
supposed to.
and I know I'm media, and you guys are going to call me an instigator, and I will do it. Well, actually, no. I'll wait for that one. What is this game? What does this game mean for Mbappe and his future, JC?
Absolutely nothing. Honestly,
No,
no.
I mean, like,
I'm not gonna
just be a
knock it. No, but
catapult.
for sure,
Yeah.
the guy's got fuel for days. You saw him just turn the defenders into cones, and he was just practicing his dribbles around them, and
He does not slow down.
he is just getting started, bro. You want to talk about goats? I mean, he's how old is he? 23. What's the official number on him? And he's
23,
doing
yeah,
these
23.
he's doing these things as if he's been doing it for 10 years. Like, just the amount of skill it takes, the vision, the anticipation, everything that falls into it, the technique and work rate, all of that is just It is ridiculous. And to know when to turn it on, when to turn it off, when to, pull defenders, when to
You
play,
got
when
to
to
know
shoot,
when to hold them,
and know when to
when to
fold them.
fold them.
It was
Sing along,
ridiculous.
everybody. No, but I
Get
mean, I
copyrighted
think
now.
I really feel like, at whoever sings that for sure, copyright. And that, what's it say? I feel like it's time for him to make the move out of PSG. If he was waiting, if the big play was for him to see what's up with this World Cup and then try to leave on the ultimate double, where you win the World Cup and the Champions in the same year, not happening, champ. On to the next. I feel like we're gonna be honest about it. It's time for new endeavors. It's time to go and build your resume. Because if you really are looking to be somebody and you want to leave your name stamped in the history books forever and be a part of Mount Rushmore conversations, start building that resume. It's not going to come from playing just in Paris and playing against these, you know, production level teams, and not to knock them, but they do produce talent. You got your Monacos, your Lyons, and your even Paris. The French league really just develops talent. You don't look at the French league as appealing as you look at a Bundesliga, Serie A, or a Premier League, because the talent level between teams isn't there. You've got the teams that fight for everything, and then there's Paris. Once in a while, Monaco will get a quality squad together, and then they'll be in there for the run, but it's too much of a separation. It's time to move on. Keelan, I hope you're listening. Somebody tag him.
Shout
And
out.
Hey, join the
we
show
really
if you wanna come on. Let us know.
we really miss Pogba this midfield. We
Love
needed a
it.
PP.
Let me before I
No.
go, Eddie. Before I go to you, just real quick, do you feel like because this is just my opinion? I don't think he's gonna be able to win a Ballon d'Or on the same team as Neymar and as Messi. And I feel like you said it's time for him to go somewhere else. Everybody already knows where he wants to go, but I think
We hope.
I
We
think
hope.
well, yeah, but and there's no way that Florentino's not going to accept him. There's no way that they're not going to accept him with open arms. I mean, whatever happened last year, whatever. But I know that Florentino wants him. He's foaming at the mouth to have a player like him. But I think if he goes and he wears that white shirt and he does it for years to come and he wins champions, and that's where he wins his first champions, and that's where he does a lot of his stuff leading up to that next World Cup. I feel like this kid could really catapult himself into that conversation, like you said. I mean, it's basically time for him to kind of leave the kids table and come up to the big boys table.
Let me flip it on you guys. What if he goes to Madrid and eclipses every single Cristiano record ever?
Well, but he
I would
wins.
love to see it.
Yeah, no, I'd love it. I mean, hell, that'd be a good
Right?
that'd be
Records
good.
are made
I'd
to be
love to see
broken.
it.
He's
Records are
likable.
made to be broken.
He's a likable kid. He know, and you know what? I bet you Cristiano would like smile just seeing that a kid that looked up to him eclipse all of his records, and he could. It's crazy because
Great.
Kylian's about to destroy Messi's World Cup goals record next World Cup,
Bro, and then how great would it be to see at a Clásico Ronaldo and Messi sitting down watching Mbappe just destroy their records,
dude?
right?
It'd be killer. Yeah,
The future's now. What was the meme I sent? What did he say
yeah,
in that show? The future's now, old man.
yeah. The
Yeah, here
future's
we go.
no.
Keelan.
It'd be amazing to
But
see
you want to
Mbappe.
see him take on new challenges, though. That's what it means. That's what I think
Yeah,
it means for his future.
but and the thing is too is that like Benzema's probably in his probably at one more year left at Madrid. You come in next season, you adapt, you learn from him, and then you have Enrique on the way. That way, it could be you, Vinicius, Enrique, Rodrigo. Like you, I
You're
mean,
thinking too
basically,
far ahead there. You got Tushmani,
Hold on, that
Camavinga,
champ. Yeah, come
Mendy.
on. Dip on your chip there.
Dip on your
Bellingham
chip.
also. Yeah,
Oh,
no.
Jude,
Bellingham.
easy now.
Whoa.
Easy now.
Relax now.
Easy now. The
Hey,
Relax.
25th's around the corner.
by the way, there is a rumor that Hakimi has spoken to Real Madrid. I saw this rumor that he has spoken to Real Madrid and said he'd
Your
love
best
to come
buds.
over there.
Your best
Hakimi is
buds.
best friends with
Right back.
he's a right back. He's best friends with Kylian Mbappe, and then Tchouaméni is a good friend of his too. He tried to get Tchouaméni to come over to PSG, but he said, "Nah, I'm a Real Madrid guy."
Right
So,
back.
but Eddie, what do you think about this about Mbappe in his future?
Whoever was in doubt that we're witnessing the Kylian Mbappe era, this right here in this game proved it that this is what we're witnessing. A
He's a
hat trick in a
superstar,
World Cup final. Unbelievable.
and against who
But
he did it against.
Right. Okay. Whoever he did it against, cool. But my question is, who's gonna be there to fight him for these titles we're talking about, right? So who
Yeah.
is he gonna be competing against? Because right now, the way I see it, I see Mbappe as the best player right now, possibly, and under 25 or whatever. And then who's below him? Maybe a Holland. Maybe Holland gets in
But
there.
Holland even slowed down.
Um,
Like he scored his first month and a half in Premier League, but he really slowed down at one point, and he hasn't
and it
really
happens as a
been.
striker, right? It
Oh
happens.
yeah,
But my thing is what does it mean for Mbappe's future? Um, if you're France football and if you're the French league, you're gonna want him to stay in your league. So what does that mean? Do we just hand him the Ballon d'Oro so he doesn't go away? Are you like PSG and just trying to give him everything he wants and he asks for? Or if you're Mbappe, you're like, hey, I already eclipsed this league. Like I'm not doing anything else here. I'd love to go to Real Madrid where I think Florentino said it. If you want to win the Ballon d'Oro, you come to Real Madrid. This is where you win the Ballon d'Oro.
look at Modric.
And you go there and you do these great things, which I'm sure he's going to. I'm sure we're going to see an Mbappe lifting the Champions League, one day. And you build on your legacy, and then you get put in the conversation of, I'm the greatest to ever play. I'm the one that's done everything these people have done and more. So yeah, I think we're going to see in the Mbappe era, and I'm hopeful that maybe like they're going to dilute the next World Cup. We see a Holland versus Mbappe battle that World Cup. Who knows?
Right now, Mbappe. Let's see. He is at. Ah, crap. Oh, Oh no, this is different. Okay. I just. I mean, I don't know what I'm with you. I think by next World Cup, right now, no, there's no way. How many goals do you think he has right now in Champions League? There's no way he has 28. He has to have a
Oh,
lot
this
more.
season?
No, Champions League goals, like in
Oh,
in
Champions
Career?
League goals?
Oh
yeah,
wow.
for his career. I'm trying to look, and
Like 33,
I mean,
35.
they
I
face
think
lower level competition. Also, they get the Pep Guardiola effect, and also when they get to play these little clubs, so he gets to lighten up the
Little
stat.
clubs.
He gets to blow up the stat sheet.
To play
Um,
against Club Bruges. No disrespect to Bruges fans out there. Sorry.
you know, but there's a difference in talent level. Just look at the salary caps and the spending. Um, I don't know. I kind of some of these stats kind of suck.
okay, he scored over 30. Yeah,
Yeah.
um, so let's just say he scored 30 right now, and he's played in 3 or 4 Champions Leagues.
hmm
So by the next time he plays, by the time he goes to the next World Cup, he could be at 70 or 80 goals, and
Sure.
he'd only be 26 years old. He'd only be 26, 27 years old.
Holland's on the same pace.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but will Denmark make the World Cup? That's gonna be
Norway.
Norway,
Norway. My
Norway.
bad. No,
Yeah,
but
and it's gonna be 64 teams. Yes, he's
oh,
gonna
that's
make the
true.
World Cup.
That's true. My bad. My bad. You're right.
Nobody
All right,
Shout out Infantino
let's
diluting
go
the World
through.
Cup.
taking
Let's go through some of this.
participation trophies.
Let's go through some of this stuff kind of quickly. Argentina obviously took a chance on Lionel Scaloni as a manager. He's a guy that went up. Former player, goes up through the process, ends up coming out as the manager, wins that World Cup for Argentina. Eddie, should more teams be doing this? I mean, a guy who's gone up through the process knows exactly what it takes, and a former player, should they take more chances on guys like this?
I mean, I think we've seen it before, right? Specifically when we saw Real Madrid take a chance on Zidane, and look how that turned out. I think Argentina took a shot on Scaloni, and I know J.C. liked that one. And I think he was able to get a group of guys to believe in one another and play selflessly. And I also think that he found a way to get the most out of Messi. Not many other managers in the past were able to do that, but somehow he was, right. And it just comes down to, I think the biggest thing is when you get these ex players, they've been in the locker room and they understand what takes certain players and what might not take another player. And they also understand that the most important thing for a team probably is the cohesion between the players. And the players are playing for each other, then there's no telling what you can do, right? So we're not gonna say that this Argentina team had a bunch of studs on the team. Like, no, they had a bunch of role players playing for a stud like Messi, and they came out champions. So does that come down to management and the coaching staff? I think so. I think cheers on Scaloni, and I think he's going to continue as Argentina and at least through his next World Cup cycle.
JC?
I mean, I'm a fan of it. I like to see a coach really kind of earn their spot and not just get picked based on, the marketing value behind him. I mean, was an assistant coach. Obviously, don't have the deepest, but you have to go with the guy that's through the process. You can't just throw anybody in there and expect to get results. You have to get a guy that can, really get the respect of the players. And what better way than to put an ex-player in there, And then obviously going back to what we were talking about, Tata, like you got to get a guy that's of that nationality for the club or that country. And first and foremost, because it feels different, you're going to have different kind of talks with your players at that point, when you're in a locker room at halftime down 2-0. Just look at that. Your pride factor just elevates to a whole nother level. I think all teams should really stick to that, process of getting a coach that's right for them because he's been through the ranks. And, credit to them for that. I feel like that really gave them an edge and the same for France. I mean, Deschamps is an ex-winner of a World Cup with France in 19.
Ex-captain.
Exactly. Not just a winner, but the captain of the team. And that team was stacked. A lot of guys could have been captain of that team. And, your boy Zidane was there, and definitely, he didn't get the captainship, so it was Deschamps. And it was Deschamps, El Capitano,
All right,
let's do that. But that you got to go through the process. You can't just pick a guy because he was a coach at Barcelona.
This is going to be rapid fire, so let's do about 45 seconds on each one. Well, 45 each one of you guys get. It's 45 seconds. Could this victory cause tension in the PSG locker room, JC?
There already is tension. You don't have to worry about that.
Eddie?
I mean, you've seen the post-game celebrations where Dibu Martinez is like, "Hey, I'm on the silence for Mbappe," and they're like celebrating. So,
by the way, I thought that was disgusting. Maybe. The way they celebrated.
I think so.
What's his name? The dude that he ended up. Oh God, he used to play striker. Aguero. He said, "Oh, one for Camavinga." That D head. I was like, this guy, he's going after a 20-year-old, really?
Yeah, I mean,
you didn't even play.
There's already tension in that locker room, and celebrations like that are going to cause more tension.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Real quick, Eddie, how much movement do you think there will be this transfer window?
I think a lot. I think we're going to see Gakpo move to United. I think we're going to see Enzo Fernandez possibly make a move in January to a club like Liverpool, and I think Jude Bellingham might go to Bayern.
I don't like that. All right, real quick, who will be the most expensive player of the transfer window because of the World Cup performance, JC?
It's tough to say. Usually you leave every World Cup like, yo, that's the guy who's going to make a splash and all that stuff. Something like that. I don't really feel like we have that guy. I think there's going to be a tax, obviously, on the Premier League teams. There's going to be the Premier League tax. But as of now, I can't really put my finger on one guy like, yo, that guy right there, 100 mil. Sign him now, whatever he costs, go for it. You could say that for Jude Bellingham, but that right there, that to Bayern, I definitely do agree. I was thinking about that too. I mean, it's the Borussia way.
Take out the Borussia tournament. Yeah,
that's what I'll say. It's the Borussia way, and they're dying for.
Well, there you go. They can keep him. They can keep him there, and he can.
I guess
train
you could
while
say
he gets
Jude.
ready to go to Madrid.
Will Madrid buy Mbappe now or later? But the January window, I feel like it's just going to be the Premier League throwing cash per usual, and that'll be that.
Eddie, what do you think?
Do we see McAllister move from Brighton and join his boy Graham Potter to Chelsea for 80 million, or do we see Gakpo move to United for 65? Like JC said, I don't think these big clubs like Real Madrid are in the market. Well, they are in the market to get someone like Mbappe, but I don't think they're going to splash the cash right now.
They need a backup striker.
So
there's one training on their grounds too.
There you go. That's going to be the best transfer of the transfer market right there. But yeah, McAllister, Gakpo, maybe this transfer market.
McAllister, don't rate him. Come on, bro.
Eddie, will Deschamps stay, or is it time for Zinedine Zidane?
He's staying. I think he's staying. I think he's going to have these talks with the FA soon, with the French FA, that is. And I think they believe in him. They believe in his project, and they're going to give him another shot 2026.
Our ray of sunshine, JC.
Why would you leave him? That's all I got to say. Why would you go against that? He's got you there twice. Everybody does as he said. He's got his young team he developed and brought through the ranks, and they all know his style. It's a no-brainer.
This next question for me just reminds me of this.
Astonishing! This is not just a dream, it's a wet dream of orgasmic proportions.
You know why? Because I'm about to ask JC a great question.
The things I would have done to hear that instead of
is it smart to keep Southgate in England? That's why I had to play that sound.
Do you want to win? I mean, come on. Look at what he's done. You're going to give him a chance. Based on what? Losing finals? I mean, come on. Like, it's time to move on. If there ever was a time, it's now. Like, come on. Stop, trying to stick to some process or whatever. And the process is done. The talent pool is there. It's your golden era. Let's go. Next coach. Shout out TT, Thomas Tuchel. Come on. Bring it home.
Smashing.
Really?
Eddie, what do you think?
I think he'll stay there at least until 2024 and see it out for the Euros. And I think he's doing that in part because he wants to have a process where the next manager understands what's going to take for them to reach that next level that maybe he couldn't take them to. Even if they win 2024, I think he'll eventually concede and say, hey, that was my last tournament with England, win it or lose it. But Thomas Tuchel is an interesting idea, JC. But again, maybe they'll bring an Englishman. Like, I don't know. I don't want to throw another name out there, but yeah.
Throw it. That's what this is for.
I don't want to throw another name out there, man.
In 2024, he better not let Rashford, Saka, and who was the other guy that hit
Rashford? We're still talking about this guy.
I'll say Rooney to coach England, man.
Well, you heard that?
You heard it here first.
I'm not gonna disrespect my guy like that. Next question, please.
All right, final question before we head out. Where will Cristiano Ronaldo sign, Eddie?
Ideally, Real Madrid. Most likely, Napoli.
JC?
If he takes a pay cut, a lot of the windows and a lot of the doors open up for him. That's the first thing, because that salary is ridiculous. He's already in Madrid. I don't see why not, right? But I'd love to see him at Napoli. He could help them go on their run, but will the coach be willing to take that on in the locker room on a team that's already doing well and firing, as best as they have in a long time? I feel like, it'd be great to put him at a Madrid. As long as he doesn't go to the noisy neighbor in Manchester, everything will be all right.
I pray that Real Madrid does take a chance on him. Right now, I said it last podcast. He's down right now. He needs somebody. Madrid needs to be that somebody for him. I wish Madrid would take a chance on him. Why not bring him in? Why not have him be your guy? I know that his attitude and all that stuff in the past, some people are afraid by it, but I feel like you guys have said, Ancelotti's the coach that could help him out with that. He'll relax him. I mean, if Zidane was the coach that sat him down and told him, hey, you're not a left wing, you're a striker now. We're going to sit you down. We're going to do some other stuff with you. Ancelotti could definitely get to him and be like, hey, we're going to need you for some of these big games, but don't forget, we still have other players. We have young players. I think you could do wonders with Vinicius. Vinicius still needs to work on stuff. Vinicius is outside boot. He still needs to kind of work on that.
Man, relax.
No, I know, but I'm saying Cristiano could definitely help him out with that. Cristiano can help him out with that flopping. He tries to do that Brazilian flopping crap, and I hate it. I hope he stops that. But you know what? People are going to say, you guys always end on Ronaldo. We're not going to end on Ronaldo right now. I'm going to ask you guys. Yeah, somebody's going to complain. Fernando Santos out at Portugal. JC, Mourinho in.
Hey, you heard it here first. You heard it here first. We broke the news here. Everybody else, all of a sudden, a specific reporter out in San Fran that likes to steal our quotes from what it looks like. No names. But I said it already. Get that guy out of there. Mourinho in. Let's move. Let's do it. Come on.
Eddie, what do you think?
I read an interesting report saying that if Mourinho does take the job as the next Portugal head boss, head manager, whatever you want to call it, that they're going to allow him to continue coaching Roma. So, wow, that'd be a first, right? I think that's a first, right? So,
wow,
this is in FIFA 23.
And check this out. He has all the pedigree to be able to do both jobs and do them effectively and at the best of his abilities. So, yes, let's do it.
A heart attack on the field.
Let's do it. Mourinho to Portugal. Let's do it.
All right. Well, we're going to leave that there. Guys, we appreciate you guys checking out another episode of Compas FC. Like we told you guys, we will continue this. There will be an episode next week. We will be breaking down the EPL is back, the English Premier League. We'll be talking transfers. We'll be talking about a lot of other stuff. So we will be continuing Compas FC. We've liked this project. We've really taken it on. We've been very consistent with it. So we will continue it once a week, doing an episode unless some huge news breaks. And obviously we would jump on and do this together. So again, we appreciate you guys, the support, everything. JC and Eddie have been awesome through this. So this is going to be an awesome project that we're going to do. We've always talked about this when we were in community college together. We always talked about maybe doing a podcast, maybe doing something. Eddie always pushed us, and now we've all come together and we're going to do this. So we're definitely excited for it. Guys, don't forget to go check out What's Up Bolts. Dan and Dago and I break down the victory over the Tennessee Titans, what that means. The Chargers are now in 6th place. They control their destiny moving forward. If they can win out the rest of the way, they will make the playoffs. So that'll be an interesting feat. They haven't done it since 2018. We break that down. Compas on the beat. Gilberto is in Green Bay with a 6-degree.
Pray for him.
Pray for that man. Yes.
Pray for that man.
He's probably frozen by now. But Vic, Dan and Dago and I will hold it down this week. And we do have a Compas Christmas special. So that'll be something fun that you guys should check out. And then obviously House of Horns with Vic and with Gilbert. They're doing some good stuff. Baker Mayfield against Aaron Rodgers. Who's going to get the upper hand on that one? That's going to be a fun game to watch. That's going to be That's very fun game to watch. And then like we told you guys, Combat Compas, we're doing some special stuff. We have a lot of really cool things planned. AEW is coming back to Los Angeles. Gilbert and I will be out there. We will be doing some stuff, some wrestling stuff coming up soon, some combat sports. So definitely a lot of fun coming up. But like I said, Compas FC will be continuing. We appreciate you guys so much for checking it out. We hope to continue growing it. Guys, don't forget to check out that the Compas have jumped on with homage t-shirts. Go check them out. They got Chargers, they got NFL, they got WWE, they got some Stone Cold Steve Austin, they got 90s references, they got it all. Go check it out. Tell them that the Compas sent you. We appreciate you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for rocking with us. For JC, for Eddie, I'm Fernando Ramirez. Thank you guys so much. Don't forget, be a compa, tell a compa, like, comment, subscribe. We appreciate you guys so much. Have a great holiday. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas to you and your loved ones. We appreciate you guys so much.
Stay safe.